Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. Before you enjoy the following production, there's just a few things I'd like to get out of the way first. Starting off, I'd like to thank all of our Patreon supporters, especially our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Cat, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. If you'd like to support us, you can do so on our Patreon at patreon.com/fsfilms, as well as by following me on Twitter at Johnny Bates, following and subscribing to us on Twitch, twitch.tv/senstaku, on YouTube, youtube.com/senstaku, and on any of our podcast feeds, links to which you can find on my Twitter account. Thank you once again for tuning in, and I hope you have a good time. Bye.
And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Breakverse. I am Aaron. I am the GM for the 5th edition game where we were going to be exploring Zanera, but kind of got stuck in the Feywild. That's the summary I'm giving this week. I'm going to introduce our players, starting with Jeremy.
Hello, my name is Jeremy, and I am playing Ipsis, the Yanti Ranger.
And Steph.
Hey, I'm Steph. I play Wolfina Nightdale, the Wood Elf Cleric.
And Kat.
Kat, and I play Ska, the Wood Elf Barbarian Cleric.
Right. And currently, the party is journeying forth along the plains of the Feywild, hoping to reach the port of Winterwing, where they are hoping to negotiate and buy an additional boon, because they kind of forgot how many Fey boons they need to get back to the material plane.
Mm-hmm. That's a thing
As
that
a side
happened.
note, Aaron, somehow I just noticed the character sheet you gave me last week when I almost died, and the name associated with it, which is just in all caps, why do you keep dying?
I know why you keep dying. It's a rhetorical question. I have also made characters with a dump stat of Constitution.
And that's not why I keep dying. That's just why this character almost died. Anyways, sorry. I had just noticed that,
great.
and it was amazing.
Yeah. So, while Jeremy builds the character that's probably coming in 2 weeks because he can't keep a character for any length of time, sorry.
What number is this one?
Totally don't mind.
Ipsis is character
Is it
number
4?
4. So if Ipsis dies, the next character, who by the way is a changeling gunfighter or gunslinger.
But
would
mind
be
you, though,
character
only one
number
of Jeremy's
5.
characters has died.
Yeah, that's true.
Only the first one died. The other ones have just left.
Hey, everyone plays D&D differently, and we're here to play D&D however we really want to play.
Yes, we are.
Which means Jeremy gets to have like 5 or 6 characters and eventually get back to a Kalishtar.
And drive Aaron insane every time I ruin their storyline plans.
You are not the one ruining the storyline plans, trust me. Speaking of the storyline, currently, Ipsis is still with the group.
Yes,
And
has not died yet.
Yet.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You didn't die, you just nearly died. You've reached a part of the Feywild where the grass you were going along has suddenly started to slope up at a... It's almost like it was flat and then 45-degree angle just out of nowhere. There's a steep incline heading up a hill into low-hanging clouds. The grass and other things don't seem to be affected by the angle. They're not bent in one way or the other.
Cause for concern?
Can roll me investigation, Wolfina?
Sure. I'm great at that. Really great.
5. Maybe it's weird. It's definitely not something you've seen before.
Can I try
Guys.
rolling investigation? See if I can see anything interesting.
I'll give this a shot.
Let's just keep walking straight towards it. It'll be fine.
I mean, let's see.
Yep.
17.
All right. With this,
Whoa.
That's doable.
well, yeah.
Natural 20, I
Okay.
think, helps.
With a 17 and a natural 20, the two of you are looking at it, and you're both sort of like looking around. And occasionally you catch like a shimmer as though this is not quite as it seems, or not quite actually there, or it seems to be some variety of illusion.
Wonderful.
Scott will kind of lean over to Wolfina. I think it's an illusion. Doesn't disbelieving like break those or something? Maybe I'm wrong.
It
I don't know.
Depends.
I try to disbelieve the grass. I do not believe in you.
So yeah, disbelieving does not break illusion spells. All of you who can cast illusion spells would be aware. It does occasionally allow people to see through them, or to see also what is under them. So yeah, with the natural 20 and with the 17 for Ibsis, is both of you are, it's hard to determine what it is, but you definitely see like a large amount of, kind of looks like some sort of burlap material that has an angle that kind of, while more lumpy, corresponds to the angle of the directly up tilting grass.
So like someone's trying to hide in it?
If that person is like, both this grass and the thing are tall and move up into the cloud line. So someone who's 100 feet tall, maybe.
Hmm. Or somebody's put in a fake mountain. Fake hill.
At least a fake upslope, yes.
Yeah.
Should I try and get rid of it, or
I think we should approach
Carefully.
carefully. Likely walk through and then enter Wakanda.
Damn it, Jeremy.
But yes, I think we should approach. But now we know what we're up against.
So yeah, the two
Which
of
is
you
actually
that made
untrue.
your investigation checks, as you get closer, there's definitely something large, lumpy, and occasionally wriggling beneath this grass mountain, covered by some sort of burlap that is not there but is layered under the illusion.
I stop approaching?
You don't see
You
this.
don't
You
see
just
it.
see the hill because you.
Oh,
made
that's right. I
five
didn't.
on it.
Are
You
you
don't
gonna tell
see
me that there's something there, or am I just gonna walk into this?
Ibsis will reach out, stop, like still a little ways back. Tunk. And I'm going to shoot at the wriggling.
Okay.
It's big, it's wriggly, it's a monster.
I appreciate her.
Disadvantage anything?
No, you can see through the illusion. How far back are you going to be? This is up to you.
I'm going to probably about 60 feet back, still within short range, but hopefully well outside of striking range.
Okay. Then, yeah, as long as you're within your bow's range,
Okay.
you don't have disadvantage. I wouldn't worry too much about
25.
it. You're trying to hit a hillside, yeah.
8 damage.
You impact into the burlap sack, and the wriggling in that part increases dramatically, and all of you hear a odd sound coming from Wolfina within the hill.
I see. Something trapped.
Means we're gonna go save it now, aren't we?
You shot something trapped?
It could have very easily been.
How far away are we right now?
I think
I said about 60 feet back.
You said 60 feet? Okay.
Yeah. It could have very easily been a trap for us. Shooting it proves there is something actually inside. If you go check it out, I will cover.
Wolfina casts Dispel Magic.
Okay. Just on the area that
Yeah. Targeted at the point where I heard, because I heard the scream, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Yeah, I targeted in that general. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just check. What level are you casting Dispel Magic at?
Just third.
Okay, roll me a spellcasting roll.
It's just a straight wisdom. Or is it my... Remind me.
Check Dispel Magic. I'm genuinely not quite sure.
Just as an ability check, so I would assume it's just a wisdom check.
Yeah.
$14. Which probably doesn't hit it. Ten plus spells level.
Yeah, a 14 does not. Unfortunately, a 14 does not hit. It
doesn't have an effect.
A 14 does not dispel this magic. So you sort of reach out and you can feel your magic impact, but it doesn't seem to have an effect at this time. For the two of you that can see beneath the illusion, after a moment, the wriggling seems to die down.
Uh-oh.
You done killed it.
But
it still moves occasionally, but it's no longer frantic.
Bleeding out.
Ipsis just stops, puts the crossbow up, and just walks forward to check out the bag.
Okay.
Before it bleeds out.
You walk up to the illusionary hill. And Sorry, this map is a little harder to get you guys onto than I thought it was going to be. Because I grabbed the wrong set of characters. I can just grab you from the world map. Cool. Ibsis, as you walk close, there's nothing that can quite disguise the smell. It is something disgusting and rank to this place. Or I'm assuming you can see the sort of grass line.
You need to move us.
Oh.
I'm still at least, or I need to refresh, one of the two. But
I'm still on.
Let me try and move the player thing again.
There
that
we go.
one?
There we go.
Yep, that did it.
Yeah. So that line is not necessarily much darker, but it does start to be this sort of 45-degree incline.
Okay. Yeah. Walk right up to the edge.
All right. I really wish transparency was a thing on Roll20. Okay, beneath it, you can see that, essentially.
Okay.
There's
a big ass.
You know what? We'll just delete it and replace it with, like, this line that shows you where the illusion starts.
That's a really big.
The bag occasionally wriggles. You can see where your arrow impacted about here.
I look back at Wolfina like, it's okay. I almost certainly did not do a significant amount of damage to it.
No, I'm just confused.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Walk.
Yeah.
Do we need to find out, though?
I feel like it is important.
Okay.
We'll stay back a little bit. Let her go first.
What do you want to do?
Walk. Walk. Pull out.
Does she disappear going through the
No.
illusion?
Like, it kind of looks like she's walking up this incline, but you can also see her sort of actually beneath the illusion.
So weird.
With that being the
a
case,
little bit of a weird
through it now?
sensation. Like, you know what's supposed to be there, and you know what your brain is actually seeing, and you can almost flip between them like the little square illusions that they have sometimes. Yep.
Yeah.
Can I
Magic
see
eye.
what's going on now? Or
Now you can see Ibsa seeming to walk up the incline to retrieve her arrow.
okay.
Pull out.
Yep.
My short
yeah, there's a small tear in the fabric of this bag that you could definitely look through if you want.
I'll take a look first before I start cutting it open.
Within, you can see something that looks like maybe a large scale, or some kind of shell that shifts slightly. You can see where it's been punctured by your arrow.
Hello.
There's more shuffling, but no response.
I will do a quick go through in quick shift in all the many languages I speak.
This thing
includes
does not seem
Sylvan
to
and
understand any
Antitonic.
languages.
Okay.
If it is, yeah.
Yep, I will start cutting the bag open.
Okay.
I realize that's going to take a long time. It's a big bag.
Uh, okay. But, the bag will be open before you fully, open all of it. So we're just going to scoot back the map a bit and give you a little bit of a look at what you're cutting the bag open
Oh my.
Um,
That's a real big bug.
Yep.
It is a real big bug.
It's
So
okay. We can kill it
would
if we need to.
would speak with animals work with this?
You don't necessarily know just from seeing at a distance whether or not a spell will work on something, but that's absolutely something you can try.
Do we have 10 minutes? Because I have to cast it ritually.
I mean, it's definitely going to take at least 10 minutes for Ibsis to cut this bag all the way through. It is.
It is. As soon as she realizes what it is, she will stop briefly, turn around. It is an enormous insect.
Is this something I've ever run into before?
Nature.
I will start my ritual casting. Oh,
Nope. Sorry, no giant bugs. Though, Ibsis, you know what? You're right there. You
I
can
was
also
gonna
roll me the
say-
check.
Okay.
Great rolls today, guys.
Yep.
Slightly better. I mean, no, much better. 9 times better.
Yeah,
With
I
a
mean-
9.
I like the way you think.
It seems like a vastly enlarged scarab beetle, to your estimation,
Okay.
which is a kind
So
of
big.
beast.
Yeah.
They tend to be a little bit poisonous, but not terribly. That's about all you get with a 9, sorry.
Well, poisonous and flesh eating, depending on the scarab.
Yeah, though, here's the thing about flesh eating. Most things that you've encountered and deigned important are.
You're not wrong. Also, I
They're
feel like a
usually
bug
not
this
terribly
big.
dangerous to you at their typical size.
I feel like a bug this big. It's not the flesh we need to be worried about them eating, as opposed to the limbs.
Yeah?
The entirety of the being. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Who
while
put
it's
it
just
there?
cutting through the bag, I will ritual cast speak with animals.
Yeah, at some point, just while cutting through, it's a scarab. Without even looking up. A big one. If that was not.
Judging by the size of the bag, there's probably more than one.
There may be multiple. There
Why are
probably
we cutting it loose without knowing why it's there?
Can you think of a reason why?
Maybe because they're bad and they needed to be put away somewhere because they couldn't be killed.
They're animals. They're not inherently bad or good.
They can be bad to certain individuals, such as the prey items
Or to crops.
or the things that they eat. Yeah. It's entirely valid to put a value judgment on an animal as it relates to a specific task. Said
Harmful,
Wolfina, not
yes.
Stephanie.
Harmful, yes. Evil or bad?
I didn't say evil, just bad, as in negative. I'm just wondering if we shouldn't talk to it or look around for someone before we start arbitrarily deciding that we need to release them all out into the world. You do you, but
This is the Feywild. I don't care what happens to it.
Then why are you helping it? If you don't care.
This is a being. This is the land of a place that I am trying to get away from as quickly as possible. There is the slightest chance that this beast, this creature, may have some semblance of intelligence, or at least can be communicated with in such a way that we can find out a way to get free quicker. If that's the case, it is more likely to help us if it is not trapped within a bag.
You're making
Therefore,
an awful lot of assumptions. I'm
yes, I
gonna
am.
walk off a little bit because I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Okay, Ipsis, you're gonna continue bag.
Absolutely.
Sky, I assume you've started the ritual.
Oh yeah, I started as soon as Ipsis was like, "It's a scarab." Like, okay, let me try something.
To clarify, a normal scarab beetle, absolutely. With the 9 and a natural 1, no one's really sure if this is one of those.
You're not wrong.
But I can speak with animals once a day. Might as well try it.
Oh, the underused barbarian talents, because
Yep.
they're not directly combat related.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah.
Because I've never.
I have a
You
thing
get
when it
maybe a
comes
little
back
raise-
around to me.
Like, you get most of one of this thing's like hind legs free before Ska finishes the ritual spell.
Okay.
We get 10 minutes to talk to this thing.
You do.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, they can talk
Yeah.
through me. So Ska will walk up into the illusion, apparently.
Well, Fina, it's actually a little weird for you because it really just looks like Ipsis is cutting through grass quite emphatically. All right. Yeah. You walk up
I'd like
into
to
your-
talk to my friend when we reach a pause here.
Sorry, I missed something.
What did you want to do, Steph?
I'd like to talk to my new friend about this when we get a second. Go ahead and talk to it. Wolfina will be talking to her new best friend.
All right. That thing.
Okay. So yeah, Ska will go up and just carefully, nicely, calmly say hello to the beetle.
You don't necessarily get a direct. sorry, not related to anything that's happening. Ignore me.
I roll one set of ability scores.
And
Look.
you ruin the concentration.
I saw.
Didn't you already do that?
Never mind.
No.
You don't necessarily get a direct response, but you can now understand this thing. Smells good.
Oh wait, I
Smells
did.
good.
I
Smells
did.
good. Thick. I can't. Out.
Oh, I totally did.
Ska will try to ask what smells good.
It. The new thing. Over left. Smells good.
Can I infer that they're talking about Ipsis?
Yeah, you or Ipsis would probably be the best assumption here.
Okay, Ska will immediately tell Ipsis to stop cutting.
Very well.
It thinks we smell good. That's never a good sign.
Fine.
Anyone have mending?
Oh, this would take a lot more than
It
many.
is more cruel to keep it permanently trapped than it is to kill
And now
it.
it
That
has a
said, there are a lot of them, but still.
yeah. Now there's a hole, so it can maybe get out on its own. But we should get away from here before it tries to kill us.
That is probably the best move.
Mm-hmm. Do we have to go in this direction to get where we're going?
You could probably, knowing that it's an illusion and being able to actually see the sides of it that are not like illusory, yeah, you could definitely go around at this point if you wanted.
Okay. Then Ska will gather everyone, make sure that somebody has a hand on
As
Alistar
that's
so he
happening,
doesn't go
or
wandering.
before that happens, Wolfina.
Yeah.
Can I talk to the moon sword when it's sheathed, or do I need to take it out and look at it?
It hasn't responded to you right now, so you're not entirely sure.
Okay. I will grab the hilt and just slide the blade out enough that I can see it and look at it. And say, "What do you make of this, fellow servant?"
I can only see what you do at this time. Do you trust the insight? It's of those who can see more than you. And do you trust what they end up deciding based on them?
I
We are
trust at least.
harvesters and seasons born.
I trust at least one of them.
So will you follow in your trust of them, or will you act, even if it displeases them?
That depends on what the action requires and what the cost of inaction is, more probably.
I am no prophet.
But you are wise.
So are you.
We've only just met. Such high praise already.
I would not take a dullard, not even on a trial basis.
I feel I am being inappropriately informal with you. May I ask what you wish to be called?
I have no name that you need know. I am a moonblade, sort of relic. Well, you may call me something else if it so suits you.
As long as I don't offend you. Thank you. I take it then.
The quickling. I forgot to delete something from this map from a previous encounter. Sorry.
No worries.
All right. Yeah. So, if it helps, think of this as a test of your intuition and skill. Do you believe that protecting the land is important, protecting this creature is important, and to protect your allies is important? And what in what measure?
Is that a direct question, or do you mean this as a whole?
I mean that as a motivation for you to do something. Decide what's important to you and act on it.
All right. At what point have they reached over there?
About at this point, Sky is sort of turning around to collect people or something.
Yeah, Sky comes back down. Gathers the NPCs. Make sure that somebody has a hand on Alistar.
Sky, Wolfina is directly in front of you.
Okay.
As you are sort of turning around to gather the NPCs.
Does she say something to me?
Just waits until you turn around and I'll say, what's going on? Because I can't see the beetle. Stuff is just being relayed.
The beetle thinks we smell good. So we are going around it.
Appetizing good?
Uh-huh. Yeah, so we're going to go around it.
I'd like to know who put it here. This was a deliberate...
Sky will ask the beetle, do you know where you are?
Inside, scratchy, thick.
Do you know who put you here?
Big, big hand. Big, big green hand.
Do you know why you were put here?
Ask it what it is.
Big green hand.
What are you exactly?
Me. Skitter, me.
Skitter here.
Like the other ones, me.
Skitter here, along with their brethren, was put into this bag by a large green hand.
What were they doing before they were grabbed?
That's a thing. How long have you been here?
Long time. In short time? Time. We've been here time.
What were you doing before you were put here?
Before here, soft, not scratchy. Dirt. Before here, dirt. More good smells. Dirt. Underneath, above, wind.
Yeah, before they were put in the bag, they were being bugs.
So, big green giant removed pests from its garden and left the bag of them here.
Yep, but they have no sense of time, so...
And yet they've survived.
If this being a ranger, you can
I was gonna say
nature. And Sky, you can roll me either a wisdom save or a nature check, given it's your spell.
13.
Nope.
Yeah. Never mind, Ibsis. Scott, what you do know is that this spell does not make creatures any more intelligent. It's a way of communicating with beasts, but the concepts they have are often very limited. They're not necessarily sentient or sapient. So yeah, things like time and personal identity are usually not in the core package. This one's surprisingly smart by that standard, actually.
All right.
Probably only has about a -2 to its intelligence score.
Hey, you know.
You found the smart one, Ipsis.
Or
Any other questions? I mean, it can't really communicate too well, but
Ask it what it eats.
I think I already know the answer to this, but what do you eat?
edible food, anything, not dirt.
When was the last time you ate?
Not now.
Are you hungry?
Always. Yes. No. Food? Food. Want food. Yes. Smells good. Food.
It is understandable that it would be hungry if it has been trapped in a bag underneath an illusionary
Hey.
hill for as
You
long
can't
as it has
understand.
been.
We don't know how long it's been there. That's part of the issue.
The Feywild.
Exactly.
It's not a thing.
Exactly. How many of you are there? Where you are?
Many. Crowded. Scratchy. Thick. Not out.
There's definitely a bunch of them in there. Or more to the point, more than one.
That is
And
not surprising.
always hungry. So that's never a good thing.
That is also not surprising.
Yeah.
What's surprising is that they were put here instead of being crushed by whatever entity it was plucked them out of the dirt.
That's not surprising. It's the Feywild.
Perhaps they thought they were being kinder. They were wrong, probably. Perhaps. But well, we can move around the bag at this point, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We provided them with the means of egress if they choose to take it. We can leave them here.
Yeah.
Even if they do
I
get
worry
loose,
we've unleashed a plague.
if they get free, and they proceed to make their way to around this land, they will still not be the most dangerous thing. Not just in the Feywild, but probably in this portion of the Feywild by a very, very long shot.
Doesn't much matter if they find you in the dead of night.
If they
Deadly,
find me,
deadly one way or the other.
If they find me, I will kill them. Let's go.
As we walk, I want to be looking for any evidence of the giant green hand being. I'm looking for general depressions in the ground that might indicate
All right. So I want you to make me a perception and what's the role that been having me? Like obviously you can move around this because you can see. Well, most of you can see through it. But
perception is 25. You did investigation on the other one?
for sure, investigation
Is that what
works.
you want? I don't know.
Ipsis, make me a roll for traveling, which I guess is investigation.
Sorry.
That's
So I have a 25 perception and 11 investigation.
yeah. I was so. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a week. You guys are gonna start moving.
Mm-hmm.
I believe previously Ipsis was leading the
Correct.
walking. Okay.
That's why I said sorry. I got zoned out for a second due to work.
Okay, fair enough. Can you make me a survival roll with your forest proficiency?
Yes.
Or whatever you get for forest. Yeah, Wolfina, you still can't see through the bag.
19.
Yeah. But Ipsis is sort of leading a confident heading that kind of cuts through this weird terrain, but mostly he sticks to the side of it. That's around the bag enough that even if things jostle slightly, you shouldn't be in like range of it.
Okay.
After walking for a few hours, Wolfina, you're looking sort of for any evidence of a giant green hand. And sort of off in the distance, the cloud cover is lower in this area, but you see what looks like if you took the largest giant you ever saw and exponentially increased the size of it, maybe the bottom half of that? Wearing clothes, so it's unclear to you at this time if they're green, but it seems to be sort of sitting not far from where Ipsis is heading, but she's steering pretty fucking clear of it.
Do you see that?
Having it pointed out, all of you do.
Oh, fuck.
There is plenty of space to go around, but yeah, it does seem like sitting cross-legged a ways away. Bottom half a giant.
Wolfina modifies her course and heads towards it.
Okay. Ipsis, one of your people is...
It's okay.
Alright.
You've dealt with people with a death wish before.
She is composing herself. We have an audience with a might as well be a god.
Do we have a clue how much further to where we were trying to go? Like how far away from where we were trying to go?
Distance is tricky, but you're probably still a day or two out.
All right. Scott will kind of make that known. We can go around.
We just interfered with something that we know nothing whatsoever about.
And if we go around, they'll never know it was us.
You're welcome to.
I was afraid you were going to say that. All right, crew. Apparently we're going to go see.
Wolfina turns around. In all honesty, I'm not asking you to come with me. It might as well. If someone's going to get killed, it might make more sense that just one of us gets killed.
Yeah. But see, you're the one that can heal the rest of us.
You did okay without me before.
Yeah, no, we really didn't. I only have a little bit of healing magic, and it's not that great. So I would like it if you didn't die.
Your motives are good. I will accompany you on this, even if I'm not entirely certain why we care about what happens to the Feywild.
The Feywild is not inherently evil.
No, it's not, but it's also not inherently not inherently it's not inherently anything outside of dangerous.
True. But there are good beings that live here.
Who are probably
And the
far
last-
more capable of taking care of themselves than we are.
I've spent the last 10 years patching people up. I wouldn't be so sure of that.
You say that if I have not told you that I have spent the last 10 years here as well, hunting.
Yeah, I haven't been here that long, and I'd really rather not be.
I just want to pull back the curtain for a second and acknowledge that, yes, we've just made a long moral debate out of an encounter with some giant bugs.
Yep. I'm sorry. I should retcon that statement from 10 years to 8 years. But ads.
Time is hard here,
Yeah,
so your 10 years very
but
well could be
ads-
20 from Wolfina's perspective.
However, yeah, it actually doesn't add anything because that's a given.
My talking sword said this is a test. So I'm treating this like it's a
Do
test.
you actually say that, or is that
No, I
okay?
don't. But
I really wish you had.
I really
'cause
wish you
that's
had,
amazing.
yeah.
But fair enough.
not yet. Maybe after this if we survive it, but
Okay.
That said, I am coming with. I am perfectly happy to come.
thank you.
All right.
I didn't mean to make that into a competition. I just meant to point out that people get hurt and do.
Okay. So
Yes.
you're all sort of heading towards this large giant creature.
This guy was basically just like, I'm not losing anybody else, god damn it. And you're not leaving me alone with fucking Alistar.
Alistar doesn't understand what's going on, or and
Exactly.
probably doesn't even remember that there were bugs.
Exactly.
Sorry, Navarin.
I mean, you're not wrong, so, you know.
Yeah. So eventually you arrive at roughly the base of this creature. You come up maybe to like the size of the toe.
Wow. Can I see its face?
No, there's some low cloud cover in the way.
Okay, I'm standing back far enough that if it like randomly just shifts its foot, I'm not gonna get just
That's
obliterated. And I'm going. I should probably think about what I'm gonna say, but I'm not going to. Thaumaturgy. Hello, large being.
Huh? I'm not that large.
Comparatively. Hello, comparatively large being.
Let them
Hello?
know we're down at their toe.
Tiny. And the like sort of there seems to be some bending and give me a minute. And sort of reaches into what seems to be some sort of pocket or bag on the waist.
Is it getting a magnifying glass?
Pulls out what looks like a large croissant, essentially. I mean, it's large because you're small.
Okay.
After about a minute, the form shrinks. It's still huge, still larger than your typical giant, but now only about 4 times larger than you.
Okay.
What
Oh,
did
man.
the tiny thing?
I am here for this Alice in Wonderland bullshit.
I'm so here for this. I have a
And
question
yes, you
for
can
you,
see.
oh tall
you can-
being.
You can now see this creature's full form. The skin is green. The features are what generally would code as rather giantish, with the exception of a large horn that carves out of one side and sort of bends downwards onto the neck. There seems to be no duplicate on the other side.
I've never heard of any kind of being like this before. Have I?
Can make me an Arcana.
I also make that.
Sure. With disadvantage, because you're not from the Feywild.
20!
I will also make an Arcana.
8.
Scott, not at all. Wolfina,
Can I make an Arcana? And would
Fey, yes.
favored enemy Fey apply?
Yes, I'm not sure what that does in this instance, but
Advantage
if it
on
works,
intelligence checks to recall information.
yeah, go ahead.
20.
Ooh.
No, 23, not 27.
Okay.
That should
I really
not
do
have,
like that it separates out the +4.
Yeah, it should not have the natural explorer
yeah.
for obvious reasons.
Yeah, I get it.
Unless it's a forest Fey, and then no.
No, that's terrain Fey, not Fey that live, or terrain forest, not Fey that live in forest.
It is a sentient terrain.
That is the
Form
thing,
of a giant.
but not this thing. But yeah, with a 23 and a 20, those of you that are locals,
Local.
rare and definitely not something you have ever encountered, but that you have heard of, they're essentially ancient giants that have lived in the magic of the Fae and become a little bit imbued with it, growing far larger than giant kind tends to. Technically, they're a form of Fae. They tend to be fairly neutral in terms of like stereotypical alignment. They don't tend to do a ton. They don't tend to be malicious or eat
Okay.
people or anything.
That was the main thing I wanted to know. Is it
Most
gonna
of the danger of them, as you would see at Ibsis, is that occasionally they just stomp on a village because they didn't notice it was there, sort of thing. And if they leave the Fey wild, they're hulking monstrosities that can alter the landscape by walking around. Or technically still hulking Fey. D&D terminology, folks. Yeah. Was there anything specific that wasn't covered that you were interested in?
me or
Either.
I wanted to know if these beings are, and it's as a fae, it probably is very much in tune with the land, right?
Potentially.
Because I'm thinking back to what the sword said and asked if I was a
creatures,
protector
they're
of the
not
land.
elemental. Yeah. That probably would be more up to the individual creature, as
Okay.
you would estimate. What do the little things want? I'm not gonna go fight an army. No.
I had a question about your beetles.
Oh, yay, beetles. I like beetles. Beetles. I have over I can show you them.
Well, what are they?
I give me a minute. Pulls out a sort of goblet of something, checks it back, resumes full size. And next to you is placed this giant burlap sack that you quite recognize, or rather, two of you recognize. Well, Fina, you haven't seen this before. That seems to be like slightly wriggling. It's very carefully placed, not on top of you.
This is what
And then
Uh-huh.
another pastry comes out.
You might want to
Back
let him
down.
know that there's a hole in the bag.
Is it the same one?
Can I see the hole in the bag?
It's not a big hole, but yes, you see a little bit of a rip.
Mhm.
Comes back down to a fairly normal size where she can actually hear those of you that are not using a thaumaturgy spell. I have beetles. You want to see my beetles?
I noticed that there's a little tear.
Oh. Sort of walks over to the bag and still has the strength to like lift it, but
Wow.
it's definitely a lot more precarious with the much smaller form, and finds the little hole and sort of like pushes the beetle back inside. I can fix that, I think.
Can you ask him why he is
Jeremy, you may be muted.
Hello?
Hello.
There you go.
Weird.
Sorry.
I literally didn't do anything.
I missed what you said. My
Oh.
bad.
Can you ask him why he is keeping the beetles in a bag underneath an illusioned hill?
Why are you keeping the beetles in a bag under an illusioned hill?
Because I don't want to lose them and I don't want anyone stealing them, so I put a little bit of a mound on top of them. It's not a hill, it's just a bump. Small. Hills are big.
Are they good beetles or bad beetles?
I like my beetles very well, thank you. They're very nice beetles. I have a high quality beetle collection.
What language is this taking place in?
Common.
Okay. I just want to make sure.
Wolfina's yelling a bit
Yeah.
to get her full attention.
Beetles are not inherently good or bad. They're beetles.
As we slowly
Which is said in that same like flat, completely
Not
emotionless
paying
tone,
attention to
but
you.
is said while pinching bridge of nose.
I think they're hungry, so maybe some not alive food like plants or something, because we heard them complaining from the bag that they were hungry. And I know you like your very good beetles.
But I know how to. She sets down the bag.
My friend talks to beetles sometimes, and she said they were asking about food. I didn't mean to imply you can't take care of your beetles. She just noticed that they said they were hungry. I mean no disrespect.
This guy.
I'm pointing at Scott. She talks to beetles sometimes.
She'll pick Scott.
no.
I want you to make.
Oh God. No.
I'm so sorry.
Grapple check,
You just provided the giant
Thanks.
with a way to communicate with his pets.
Her pets, but
Her
yes.
pets.
I said sometimes. She can't do it anymore today. She can't do it anymore today. You should put her down.
That's not gonna be bad.
We're gonna let Scott make the roll first.
That just means that they'll keep me till tomorrow.
That's okay.
What roll am I making?
Strength or dexterity, because you're opposing a grapple check.
I
think it's athletics or acrobatics specifically.
I was gonna say, can I use my danger sense to get advantage on my dex save?
That's
No, you want athletics or acrobatics, you said?
Yeah, it's not a dex save, and I'm pretty sure that's for effects you can see, not for grapple rolls.
Athletics. Come on, good roll. 22. Not too bad.
Yeah, sorry. Wait, I didn't roll a dice. I just rolled a 20 plus modifier.
Hey.
I'll give you a fair shot, but unfortunately, a 24 is higher than what you rolled.
Yeah.
So, Scott, you find yourself scooped up and sort of held at eye level with, okay, not as huge as was, but still about 4 times your size giant.
Now I'm very high up.
I'm so sorry, Scott. There was
You
a
can-
miscommunication.
You can see a lot of runing and complexity to the horn that you couldn't from the ground.
Pretty.
You don't know how to take care of beetles.
No, I do not. I never said I did.
Beetles will eat until they get fat and dead, and if you keep giving them food.
Well, now I know that.
Bad. You don't get to care for beetles.
I promise I will not.
Just because they say they want food. What did it say about me? Did they ask me?
I did not ask them that.
What about the green one?
They said the green one put them in the bag.
Not that green one, the green beetle. The one with the nice scales.
I don't know which one I talked to. They were inside the bag.
It was not a green one, I do not believe.
Sets you down.
God will just kind of stare at Olafina for a second. I am not allowed beetles.
None of us are allowed beetles. We just wanted to make sure they were okay and make sure the collection didn't escape through the hole that we noticed. Have a good day.
Make me a
We'll be on our way.
deception
Sorry
roll.
to bother you.
Deception checks, please.
No, we saw there was a hole. I said nothing about what caused the hole, just that there is a tear in the bag. That's all.
You are actively trying to mislead this creature about how this hole came to be, correct?
I'm not misleading it. I'm just saying that there was a hole that we saw in the
said
bag.
You did say noticed, and
We noticed it when it put
So-
the bag down.
You are trying to lead this person to an incorrect conclusion about how the hole appeared in the bag. By
I cast guidance on myself as I make this statement.
That is deceptive. It's not a lie, but it is a deception.
right.
Okay.
So unless you're trying to communicate, my friend punctured a hole in the bag.
No,
You're
I'm
making-
just not. It's a lie of omission. It's
There you
true.
go.
This is why you don't volunteer more information than necessary.
Uh-huh.
He's trying to do a thing, and I never said she was good at it.
It's fine.
No, this is great.
Natural 20!
Yeah.
Didn't even need the guidance.
Yeah, she can't make that. Because even if she rolls a natural 20,
Plus 4! Oh my gosh! It's a 24.
Yep. Okay, that works.
Yes! Makes up for that natural 1 earlier.
Fixed bag. What else do tiny people want?
That was it!
Well, that is not.
Do you need something?
It just does
Look
not
at
go.
it. Okay.
It just says that is not all.
Then
This
you
person-
speak. It's your turn.
Greetings.
What do you want?
We are trying to get wherever it is we are trying to get to.
Port of Winter Wing.
Think the Port of Winter Wings, though you
Yeah.
change your mind on that a lot.
I mean, no, we still have the same goal. I just forget where it is every single time. We are trying to get to the Port of Winter Wings. Do you know
The collective, you change your mind a lot. Okay.
Do you know
That one.
Yes, no, we know the direction. Do you know anything we should look out for along the way?
She thinks that changes, but don't bump your head into the airships.
I'm sorry. Airships?
Winter Wings is a port on a mountain. There's airships.
I see.
Don't bunk your head in.
I
They
will
get
let
upset and you get hurt, and it's not fun.
I will do my best not to. Thank you.
You're very kind. Thank you.
You're nosy about other people's beetles. In the
I
bad way.
apologize. I've
Ask
definitely
about the
learned a
beetles.
lesson
You just
today.
policed my beetles. And will grab another goblet out of this small satchel and down it.
That's me.
As this large creature starts to pull out what looks like a very large, very sharp thing, but is really just a giant sewing needle, and starts patching up the bag.
Forget it, Jake. It's the Feywild.
Okay. Can we go now?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
I will make sure that all everyone is together. We haven't lost anybody.
I like that you're like the sheepdog or whatever of
Well, you know,
you're hurting everybody.
I'm apparently the leader now.
I look over at Wolfine as Rockaway. I stand corrected. It was very useful to speak with that person. We found out.
And that is where we're gonna go to break.
Well then. Break time.
All right. Be back. And we're live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Breakverse, where, sorry about the long break, we all needed food and apparently to learn about wrestling history.
Hulk Hogan makes shit up.
I learned a thing today, guys.
It's an educational broadcast. Please don't show this to your children unless you're comfortable with them hearing swearing, which you really should be.
To which, may I just say, motherfucker.
You're amazing.
All right. Weird tangents and parenting advice from a group of people that by and large are not great at that. I don't. That aside, I think this may be the one Final Show Films game where no one's a parent.
Anyways,
And now that Jack has left, yeah.
we're walking towards a town in the Feywild.
Yep. Or a town, port.
Yeah.
You're gonna try and find a boon at the marketplace.
Yep.
I don't feel good about this.
You walk for several more hours that day, and eventually night doesn't necessarily come, but you're starting to feel tired. I assume you would like to set up camp somewhere.
Yes. I will find a good place to set up camp.
Okay. Just the survival foresty roll.
Yep. Do. For survival, no advantage. Yeah, 16.
You can find a place. There's no like high trees or things that would be ideal for you. But yeah, you can find it's a little smaller than you'd like, but essentially an outcropping of rocks and trees that creates a bit of a shelter.
This will do.
Set up tents. Anyone want to take a watch?
I will take Dead of Night Watch as usual.
Okay.
I'll take a watch.
Right.
You want first or second?
Doesn't matter. Well, except for the whole I
You
can't.
guys have a
Wait,
ton of
right.
NPCs that can double up on watch if you want to take watch with someone.
I forgot about the whole.
Yeah, there's a posse and an
Yeah.
Alistar, though you don't typically let Alistar take watch.
No.
No.
I like how the two people who weren't there for that still are like, the common sense don't let this character.
I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, my hair's a mess. Okay. Yeah. First watch was
Scott will take first watch with. We'll ask if Chloe wants to take watch.
sure. Wolfina, did you want to take watch with Ipsis or take a separate watch?
I'll take a separate watch.
Okay.
Okay. I will take watch with the useless bard.
All right.
You two will be buddies.
And you know
by
what?
which I assume that means I will watch and the bard will sleep.
Yep.
We'll put Zawin on third watch because she actually has not been pulling her weight. I keep track of these things. Somewhat weird. So yeah, Ipsis, Scott, you are on first watch with the slightly less useless but unable to use her instrument bard.
Yep.
Perception check.
12.
Okay. And No. Alright. It's a fairly quiet night. There are occasional sounds, but nothing that's particularly close or identifiable. Is there anything you wanted to do while on watch?
Yeah, she wanted to talk to Chloe a little bit.
Okay.
Because, we haven't really talked much. And by much, I mean, like, at all. But she basically just wants to know, like, how
What do you say?
She'll go up to Chloe and like, you doing okay?
I guess. I mean, not exactly sure what I'm even doing here at this point, but I'm not injured. Or I'm not getting worse. I'm not sick or anything.
That's good. Yeah, I understand the not knowing what you're doing here. But we're trying to get back.
And we're doing that how again?
Boons for the wolf.
Yeah.
Do you remember how many we needed?
I wasn't there. You, Ragnar, and Click Clack went in to talk to
I was hoping
someone
that Ragnar mentioned it to somebody else.
We'll let her roll. Yeah, you and Click Clack. Like, you were clearly, if this was his little army, you guys were the generals. You were the people who were actually consulted on things. We were largely just, well, time to move.
Yeah. I was afraid you were going to say that.
Okay, let's put it a different way. You guys had a plan when you set out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many places you were planning to go to?
No. We were going to the first place and then we were going to figure it out after that.
I see we are... Okay.
Yeah. I never wanted to be a leader. I never expected to be a leader.
Chloe will sort of lean back. You know, that might be a good thing. You know Carsey?
Uh-huh.
He tried to tell me that he was the best thing ever and he was going to be a leader and he was better than Ragnar, so I should follow him instead.
Interesting.
I told him to go prove it because I wanted him to fall off a cliff.
Yeah, well, he turned out to be not that
I
great.
think my point is, you can say all day that you didn't want to be a leader, and you'll end up winning because everyone's gonna keep leaving. And then you won't have anyone to lead.
I just want to go home. And I don't even really know where home is anymore. What were you doing before you got caught up with us?
I was in a cage trapped by mind flayers. For that,
Okay.
I don't remember. First thing I remember was waking up there. I know how to sing, how to play this thing, though I can't anymore.
Can you play anything else?
Yeah, I've got a few other things.
Because you can do
She'll
drums
pull
one-handed.
out what looks like sort of a small ukulele that you've seen a few times. I can kind of play this one-handed. I know how to play still. It's just different.
Because I know you can play drums one-handed. That's the only instrument I can play.
You can, but then you can't use the other one to regulate the tone on the side. Though I'm not great with drums. I use strings. I think I always have.
Maybe I could teach you drums someday.
Yeah. Then I'd have to figure out how to weave magic through them.
Yeah.
It's fine. I can sing. I've figured out how to play well enough to cast if I have time. I definitely have gotten a lot of use out of that silence shell. With gestures towards Alistar. The stunning other half of our musical accompaniment. And his fascinating interpretation of what sound should be coming out of mouths.
Yeah. Well. Here's hoping that we figure out what we need to do and can get the hell out of this place.
I mean, aren't you a cleric?
Only technically. I mean, I
So
know
you
a
can't
little
just
bit.
ask?
Yeah, it's complicated.
Mm.
I didn't really know who I was asking in the first place. I still kind of don't.
But I'll give her a look at that. Oh, natural 20. That works. You're a cleric. That means... Look, everyone gets their magic from different places. Warlocks get it from a sworn contract. Bards get it from the weave itself as we form it into stories and convince the magic to be a specific thing by talking pretty to it. Sorcerers get it from inherited bloodlines, typically, or special magic inside of them. Clerics get their magic from trust. A divine figure, a member of the divine, trusts you and you trust back. And they give you magic basically under the condition of your continued trust and faith in them, and they guide you.
Yeah, like I
So-
said, it's complex.
You don't trust your god?
It's not that I don't trust my god, it's that I don't really know who my god is. Like I said, complex.
Yeah, that sounds like something to figure out and do something about. Like, because I know I might not have cleric magic, but I know the stories. Like, divine magic never goes away, but if you don't like or trust or can't put up with your god because you don't know whatever you need to know, cleric magic tends to sour. They can't take it away from you, but if you misuse it or you use it in blasphemous ways or you just give up on that god, curses can sour the gifts you've gotten quite easily in rough ways. At least that's how the stories tell it.
Yeah. Yeah. My life has been a series of crazy happenstance things, and I'm not really sure what it all means anymore.
Okay. I'm gonna just stop trying to be gentle. She'll sort of like stand up to her full height. You keep talking like your life is happening at you or to you, not like you're taking any kind of initiative or have any kind of active role. You don't know. You don't know what we're going to do next. You don't know who your god is. Whatever. Yeah, there are going to be things you don't know. That sucks. There are going to be times where something shitty happens that wasn't really your fault. She sort of gestures to your arm. And then you're going to have to figure out what to do next and what to do with that. If you keep on saying, oh yeah, my life is a whole bunch of happenstance. I just happened to, I don't know, speak giant. You haven't actually told, I think, anyone who's here, like, what you've come from beyond that. It sure was random happenstance. It sure was. And start, like,
It's true.
taking some damn initiative about it. Okay? Like,
I mean, you're right. Especially, except for Alistar, who doesn't remember anything anyway. Nobody here really knows anything about any of us.
I find that there's a lot that can be done by talking and listening. They're not my stories to tell, but I know that Zhao Win, Sylvester, and Laureate have shit going on between them. Zhao Win's trying to find some destined thing. Laureate's hoping really hard that Zhao Win doesn't realize who she is. There are stories. I bet the new ones have stories too.
Yeah.
Alistar's not the only one who doesn't listen and doesn't remember. Time for the next watch, I think.
Yeah.
Chloe will sort of go over and very carefully, Ipsis, your turn.
Yes, thank you.
All right. She's clearly standing far enough back to not get stabbed.
There's no apparent intent to stab.
Okay. She does seem like she was a little worried to wake you up, and it's heading off to sleep.
And Scott will kind of wipe the tears from her eyes.
She will much less gently arouse Alistar.
And Ipsis does her thing of finding a strategically valuable tree, climbing up into it,
of which Scott will probably lean against to take rest.
And then walking.
All right. Please tell me you didn't. Do you want to talk to Alistar?
No.
Thank God. Okay.
I am not going to make you play Alistar for a big character moment.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, and you're welcome, Navarre. Not that you couldn't, but
I don't want to.
exactly.
Whether or not I could is kind of irrelevant. I don't like doing that.
No, that's absolutely. That was my point.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Perception.
Okay. So I look for my tab that has roll 20. There we go. And we're still in a forest, so still favored terrain. 28. Unless we're not in a forest anymore, then 24.
We're in a forest, yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. With the 28, it's not eerily silent, but nothing comes by.
Okay,
Nothing
perfect.
Really...
And I vaguely pay attention to Alistar. Sleeping.
No, he has managed to keep himself awake this time.
Oh, okay. Fair
he
enough.
Doesn't seem... Actually, I have Navarran's character sheet. I can just roll this. He seems to be paying decent attention. He's not seeing a ton, and he doesn't really seem to know what he's ends up being. He doesn't seem to know what he's looking for. But he seems nominally aware that he is somewhere and paying attention to his surroundings.
Cool. Good enough.
Impressive.
All right.
And once our time is up, drop out of the tree, walk over to Olfina. Lean down and gently shake awake.
Okay.
To just
the rest of
stare
your
like probably about like this far away from your face.
Do I need to roll against a jump scare?
It depends on it. That's up to Ipsis.
Not trying to she's not trying to like boo or anything like that. Just like that.
Mm-hmm. So only if you think that would startle you.
Frankly?
Snake person in your face.
Yes.
Okay. Roll for it. That would be a wisdom save.
Okay.
Yeah. It's up to you what that means.
Wilfina,
19.
it is your turn.
Enjoy the rest of your rest.
Thank you. And she goes to go sleep.
Yeah, Zawin is also aroused some way or another. Well, Vina, anything you wanted to do during lunch?
Yes.
Okay.
Especially since I have the other person there.
Mhm.
I will. Are we sitting together or like
Yeah,
on
you can
opposite
be.
sides of the camp?
Your call. You're probably, given that this is sort of an outcropping, you're probably both either near the tree, which isn't
Okay.
super tall but is there, or sort of looking out.
And who is with me again?
Zawin, who's the
Zawin?
monk,
Okay, I have it.
mostly talks to the guy with the one guy, the guy with lots of furs and gruff voice,
Okay.
who was with Sylvester, was one of the people who competed with you in the tournament.
Okay. I'm going to look at the monk and say, I'm going to have a conversation that's going to sound one-sided now. Not with you. And she points at the sword.
Yeah, been there.
I figured this wouldn't be too terribly unusual. Thank you for your discretion about the content of this conversation. It won't take long.
As long as you don't talk about murdering the other people here, because I am on watch.
I would be offended if you did otherwise.
Yeah, and she'll just sort of keep an eye out.
Okay. I will put a hand on the pommel and just barely pull the sword out just a little bit so I don't give the impression of drawing a sword during watch. Servant of Rella.
Yes, wielder.
Did I pass?
Do you think you did? It's not my test.
You seem to be the arbiter, though, since I'm the one on trial.
Oh, I will judge you when the time comes. But in the meantime, the test is what you do if you act up to the standards of your ideals. If you follow the path Sarga this illuminates. Your decision about what was important with the bugs was one you struggled with. So I told you that, like everything, it is a test.
I struggle when I come in conflict with them because I'm still an intruder in their midst compared with the others. I have no right to demand that they act one way or another.
Then why are you talking to me about this?
Because you are wise.
So are you. I would say that I am a sword. I choose a wielder. I do not choose a group of allies. But I would also say that every moon has its place in the sky. One might have ire towards the third moon, or frustration with the fourth moon, but those moons are still there. They're still just as important as our own goddess to the cycle, and all are needed for the seasons and nature to progress. You are a protector. You are a relic. You are the bulwark, the healer, the guardian. You are the first. Show them that. And even if you cannot or do not demand, give them reason to find you important. Give them leadership, guardianship, if that is what they need. And
Nina is biting her lip so hard that there's a little blood.
Perhaps do not wound yourself over the idea that this group is... I can only see what you do. Choose wisely. And you can feel that sort of consciousness recede into the sword a bit. Not absent, absolutely available to respond. But
Ending the conversation.
stopping talking, at least. Like, unless you
All the same, I will say, for a being who calls themselves just a sword, you've given me quite a bit to think over. Thank you.
You underestimate what a sword can be. I am just a sword. Or maybe you overestimate. That's up to you.
That's all.
Yeah. Perception. Oh, yeah, you did that. Okay.
21.
Yep. All right. All of the watches end, and the next morning comes to pass. Ipsis, barring any long turnarounds or dimensions failing to be what they should be, it seems like you'll probably arrive by day's end in Winterlands.
Okay. I will inform them of such. Remember, look out for airships. Although I don't think we actually need to worry about hitting our heads. We are small.
Very true. All right. Let's head
As you
out.
head out, oh, sorry.
Just
As you head out, give me a survival and someone roll me a D100.
I got the D100. That's a 37.
No advantage because you are going to be leaving the forest.
No +4.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. 12.
Okay. Right. So, you head out from this outcropping. You're not making quite as good time, Ipsis. You're be a lot more careful, partly because you know that there's civilization coming up and that can have its own different dangers. So you're trying to sort of balance that you're still in the very wild part of the Feywild and the possibility that you're going to start encountering the things that live around cities and towns.
Right.
So you're not quite making as good time, but you are heading on. After about maybe an hour of morning travel, the area starts to get much colder as you continue to proceed on. The cloud cover does largely lift, or at least lift up from this very low-hanging clouds you had encountered up until now. and it starts to very lightly snow.
Okay.
Proceeding for a few more hours, the snow doesn't get heavier, but those of you that don't have winter clothes are definitely feeling that temperature drop. You can also tell that the paths are starting to take somewhat of an incline, not like the weird illusion that you had before, but just like you seem to be starting to go up some hills. Yeah. Is there anything that people still wanted to do while traveling?
Ipsis is just generally keeping her eye out, both for danger and keeping an eye on the party, because as far as she's concerned, the party is not incredible, not probable, but not entirely unlikely to have at least one or two members just wander off into the Feywild. And that would be bad.
Fair.
Tie a string to Alistar's belt. No.
Yeah.
He would not notice the string and would probably make some kinky sex joke while removing it.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that is pretty much what
Okay.
the auntie who does not do emotion is doing.
We're gonna go in a circle just in case. Kat, Scott, anything?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think we got any winter clothes like anywhere else. So probably trying to look for some place to at least buy a jacket.
Not sure if any of these trees sell jackets, but it's the Feywild, so that's not entirely out of the question.
Exactly. You never know.
Yeah, you actually probably have the best climate equipped clothing. You and Ipsis probably have the best climate equipped clothing because you are initially from a very cold place and you spent a lot of time out, admittedly in the warmer south, but out in the
Yeah, I have
forest.
traveler's clothes, but that's about it.
Yeah.
And my cloak of Oldenkind.
Yeah. But in general, your wardrobe is probably a little more suited towards temperature changes. From an aesthetic point. Yeah. Okay. So, Steph, anything you wanted to do during this travel time?
If I can just get some more food and just some basic traveling things, since it looks like we're going to be spending a lot of time in between towns.
Make me a survival roll.
20.
Yeah, you can find some almost certainly not poisonous but edible things. I'll say like 4 days of rations.
Okay.
All told. Yeah. And eventually, you all arrive in the port of Winter. Having climbed up quite a few hills, this is a sprawling city. As you look up, you can see sort of portals, seeming not necessarily tears in reality, but spiraling circles of magical energy from which airships come in and out. A few airships seem to not travel through these portals, instead traveling outward. The entire area is lightly dusted in snow, with large numbers of stalls in marketplaces and various businesses and other buildings, seemingly a few houses as well. You don't see anything that's particularly uniform. Obviously, the vast majority of the children of the plains, the humanoid races, are elves. Mostly the types of elves you find in the Fae. So the ones I can't pronounce, and high elves. Elodrin.
Eladrin.
That word. Who are elves in this setting. Not passive aggressive. Eladrin and high elves more commonly. So, something you wanted?
No, nothing. I was.
Okay. Yeah. And yeah, you're looking around at the various market stalls and port. It's the sort of. It's dying down. It actually is pretty late by your estimation, and actually does seem like the sky is dimming in this area. But there's still a fair amount of hubbub around the market. So as you look out, trying to figure out where you're gonna buy a boon here, that's where we're gonna end for this week.
Alrighty. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.